I'm Olivia Robbins. This is my third year at Milton Academy, and I work in the English department.
Awesome. As a faculty member, what do you think your favorite part about teaching is here?
I would say two things come to mind. The students' brilliance and their sense of humor around their work, and also the autonomy that I have in my classroom to design lessons and work with texts that will suit the students' needs.
Awesome. When choosing Milton, what stood out to you from other places?
The location, proximity to Boston is a plus. Again, the autonomy in the classroom, the small class sizes. I went to a giant public school where I was one of like 25 kids in a classroom, so the bonds I'm able to create with my students really feel special and hopefully helpful to the students' growth in my class.
Could you just tell us about what kind of classes you teach and what grades you teach and stuff like that?
So this year I'm teaching two sections of Class 4 English. I am also teaching a section of Founding Voices, a sophomore elective. This is my third year teaching that class. And it was my first year teaching seniors. I taught themes in contemporary world literature. And I also taught one independent study with one junior. And that was a really great experience. I co-taught that with another faculty member who teaches psychology. And in the past, I've also taught juniors. I taught American literature last year.
Cool. How does the school support your department to help teachers impact students even more?
I would say the school feels very supportive of the humanities. I know that a lot of our peer institutions are really focused on STEM in terms of investing resources, in terms of just the emphasis in the curriculum. And while Milton is incredibly strong in the STEM programming, there's still a real understanding, I think, that humanities and thinking about the human experience and the way we relate to each other is really crucial to an education. And so I feel like the English department isn't going anywhere. I feel like the school still really values our contributions to the student experience. We even have new projects coming out of the department, like the humanities colloquium and workshop that Miss Baker and Miss Braithwaite have started, where we're connecting with other schools in the Boston area around really pertinent social issues. So this year's focus is on socioeconomic inequality through humanities classrooms, so studying that issue, which is often approached from a STEM lens, but now approaching it through humanities lens, looking at literature and history that touches on issues of socioeconomic inequality, and bringing educators at our schools who are interested in investigating this topic together and talking about the kinds of projects that they're doing in their classrooms around this issue.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite project that you assign?
My favorite project that I assign? I don't know if I can pick just one, but I really love looking at my students' voices. So any creative assignment that allows me to get to know my students' voice as a writer. I mean, that's most assignments, but particularly like personal memoirs. Last year in American literature, we did a personal awakening narrative where the students wrote about a moment in their life where they had some sort of awakening, whether spiritually, academically, socially. That was one of my favorites. This year I did a personal memoir project where we played with style, so sort of in the voice or sort of in the style of The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, but students were using their own stories and using aspects of Diaz's style to play with those stories. I really enjoyed reading the work that I got with those assignments.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite tradition that you've seen here at Milton?
My favorite tradition. Maybe it's an unpopular answer, but I really like the Class 4 talk. I think that students really rise to the occasion with this project. I know it's stressful. I know it requires a lot of work on the students' part, but the opportunity to share a story or talk about something that you're deeply passionate about for 5 to 7 minutes and to get it to this very polished place is is honestly a gift. I did not have to do much public speaking in high school, and I wish I had. And to see these students shine, just yesterday I had a student bring a tear to my eye just with the poise and presence that she had on stage. So I love that tradition that we have, yeah.
How do you think Milton gives back to its community in and outside of the classroom?
How does Milton give back to its community? I think our community engagement office is quite expansive. From what I understand, we have a ton of different kinds of partnerships, from local schools to nonprofits that we work with. So I'm proud that I work at a place that has such a dedicated commitment to that work. I think the humanities colloquium that I mentioned is another new way that we're connecting with our community, of bringing schools together to sort of bridge that gap between the public-private divide or the parochial, non-parochial divide in schools. So I'm excited about that as a possible way to bring school communities together around a shared question or shared interest.
And last question, what are your favorite books to teach, or what is like your favorite unit that you teach?
Ooh. Again, I have a lot. I love teaching Dante's Inferno. Talking about hell with sophomores is pretty fun. And I love all the books I teach in Founding Voices, because these old books are really weird, and yet it's really gratifying to see how some of the themes and questions raised feel so relevant to students' day-to-day lives still. So I would say the Inferno is one I really love, and I think let me think. I love teaching The Awakening. What else? This year I taught Sadness is a White Bird with my seniors. It's super contemporary, and the prose just stays with you. And it was also a really challenging text to teach. It's about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And so it really challenged us as a class to come up with norms of raising questions and disagreeing with each other that would feel like comfortable and respectful. Yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.